Hello! Welcome back to the Long Distance Love Bombs podcast. I am your host, Dr. Jeremy Goldberg, and today's guest, it's my girlfriend. It's still my girlfriend, Kendra Adachi, my partner in crime, my getaway driver, my accomplice in most everything that I do. She's come back, and in this conversation, we talk about the importance of mentorship. We talk about our experiences having coaches and being coaches. We talk about the benefits of getting someone outside of your bubble or system, someone that can see the picture outside of your own personal picture frame to provide guidance, support, assistance, love, encouragement, and a little bit of kick in the ass once in a while. So that's the conversation that we have. All of this is wrapped around our new and improved, freshly launched, fresh coat of paint, our 12-week group coaching thing that Kendra and I run. We're starting a new round on July the 1st. It's 12 weeks long. It includes 12 90-minute group calls, and there's a daily accountability practice through a group text message. So we basically live in your pocket or purse. On your shoulder, you can ask us for advice, support, ideas, and encouragement throughout your day. We have set office hours. We'll get back to you. We'll answer questions. And it's awesome. It's so fun. The small groups that we lead become family, become friends, and the bond is strong. It's really good. So I've included a link to that in the show notes. Check it out. On the website, there are about a dozen testimonials from past participants, so you can actually see and hear for yourself what our former clients had to say about it. And it's super fun looking back and seeing what they thought. So that's it. We're talking about mentorship and coaching today, why it's important, why you should consider it, and that's it. Enjoy the conversation with Kendra. Kendra Adachi.
Jeremy Goldberg.
My lover, my lovely lover. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you.
It's been a minute.
It's always an honor to be here and to be in this space.
In our living room.
In our new living room.
Mm-hmm. And today's topic that we've chosen is a general one about mentorship and coaching and the benefits of having people guide you or assist you or support you along your journey.
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
What comes up for me is there's a sense of the word safety wants to come to mind, but that's not the word that my body's looking for. But there's a sense of an exhale when I know that there's a place separate from my immediate personal family or friends that I just feel this sense of being able to really open in an unbiased place and to receive the truth of not necessarily feedback, but receive the truth of what I'm missing. Does that make sense? So to me, it feels like in all my experiences and all of the places of where I've had mentors and currently today, it's like when there's something that personally shows up for me that I'm processing and I don't necessarily feel like I'm ready to either bring it to you or to my family or to anybody, knowing that there is this place that not only can I just speak it and be witnessed in it, but I know that there is a guiding me back to myself, because I'm sure that maybe you can also relate to this, and everybody listening, there's moments where we can forget so much about ourselves. We can forget that we're brilliant, we're capable, we actually are so good and safe and protected. And we can really get wrapped up in our own stories of how none of that we tell ourselves is not true, or we feel it in our bodies. And in my experience of mentorship it's always a guiding point back to myself. And I feel like it's fucking invaluable, because how many times do we just continue to perpetuate the belief that we are wrong, we're not going anywhere, or insert the fear, and how that can cascade to a life that feels really unfulfilling and really scary. And so mentorship is wait, hold on, like, let's really take a look here. Let's really look at this. Let's really be realistic. Let's see what thoughts we're entertaining here, and let's choose the truth. Like, let's remember the truth. And there's so many mentors out there, right? And I've personally had experiences with some that weren't aligned, and I got to experience it, and I got to exit.
You like dated a few.
I dated a few.
Metaphorically,
yeah. And there's the ones that I found, and I continuously search for. The ones that like do not sugarcoat or hold back, and they say like, this is what you're doing and this is what I witness, and it can be really hard to swallow and it can feel really confronting, but there's also this knowing of like, damn it, like, it's true. It's true. And that's where I feel so much expansion and willingness to trust yourself comes in, and that's where so much change comes in life.
Yeah, I was talking to someone like on a call maybe 2 days ago, and I was sharing with them some goals that I have about writing and stuff, and they're like, oh, so what are you going to do about it? It's sort of being sarcastic, because like, I'm the coach, and like, what am I going to do? And I said, oh, don't worry, I have my own coach, and unfortunately she knows me really well, and she knows exactly what she needs to say, and she can predict my excuses. And on the other side of that, though, she knows what I really want.
Yeah.
She knows what I'm capable of, and she knows that deep down, like, that there's a deeper me that she can recognize and then sort of drag out of me or remind me of that, right? And so it helps me to have somebody at times act as a cheerleader or as shoving me forward, of like, come on, man, sort your shit out, get your shit together. You're telling me you want to do this thing, but you're not doing it. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And as you say, the truth teller, somebody that can share their version of the truth, but also make me recognize how I'm avoiding my version of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right, I do want to do this thing, or yeah, you're right, I have this thing that I've been avoiding or not quite seeing. Or oftentimes I find there's like a thing in me, in my heart or in my behaviors or in my belief system that I know is there. Like, I can feel it as a block or as this gray, dark thing, but I don't know how to find it, and I don't know how to describe it. And I find that having somebody outside of my entire life can serve as a useful guide along that path.
Yeah. Something that came up for me is like, when you enter a mentorship, and like, this has been my experience, and especially for the mentors and coaches that land, like, I have one coach, Rayanne, I love you so much, from like the very beginning. I think it's been 7 years, and I know I can call on her anytime. But you are establishing a relationship.
Yeah, it's a bond. It's a bond,
and it's like with somebody that, they see you, and they see the ways that you don't see yourself.
Yeah.
And so because of that, there is a sense of safety that, and it's also confronting because like, that they will see these pieces, and likely before you do, because they notice the way. And this is something that I'm also really grateful to be able to be in the place of mentor to mentee. You notice the ways after being in relationship for even like a few calls. You notice the ways that they want to avoid, the ways that they are sneaky with themselves and their patterns and their behaviors. And that's when you get to be, or in my experience, then you get to receive the calling out and be like, okay, this is the pattern that's showing up here. So this is what gets to be different if you so choose. And also, in my experience, is like my mentors that have really like solidified my choice to change is like, they lay out the consequences. Like, this is what happens if you don't do it differently, if you don't listen to yourself, like you've been avoiding or what have you. And it's like, wow, shit, I maybe have never really thought of it in the depth of that way. And so like mentors and coaches have a different perspective, because we get so stuck in our way, in our lane, which is perfect and fine, but we get stuck in our own thoughts and how things we think should or be or should look. And they're like, what if there's a different way?
Yeah. And then for me, at least, I've often been stuck in my own bubble, so to speak, of I'll go to my friends, I'll go to my family, but all of those relationships are biased, right? Because they care about me and our connection.
Yeah.
And there's a deeper fear that if I change, then the relationship will change. And that can feel scary to people subconsciously. Whereas in a mentorship or a coaching relationship, like I've straight up said to clients, I don't give a shit about your mom. Like, I don't care about your dad. Like, I honestly could give two fucks about all of your friends in your entire life. Like, I'm here for you. And like, you're paying me to help you. And I'm going to give you what I think. You know, and I'm going to tell you if I think your mom is acting like an asshole. I'm going to tell you what I think about your friends. Like, or I'm going to help, not tell you, I'm going to help you see what's going on through my perspective by asking questions, right? And I think that's been really invaluable too, because it doesn't necessarily sacrifice, let me say that a different way. It feels good for me as a client to go to my coach and know that it's completely external to my life.
Yeah.
Completely external. This person doesn't know any of my friends. This person doesn't know my family. This person is there for me. And so there's this really beautiful selfishness of like, this is my person. Like, you're not like a pet, you know, but like it's a treasured thing, at least in my life, that I can have this place to go and talk and share and whine and be met with non-judgment, to be met with acceptance, to be met with love and respect, and also to be kind of consoled in those moments, but also kind of thrust forward.
Yeah, I would say be met with radical honesty.
Yeah, and truth that I know that I don't always want to admit is there.
And that's so important.
Yeah. Because
honestly, if I think back to all the times that any of my coaches have just like laid it out for me and like, this is where this is operating from.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this, Kendra. And I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
There's like you're right. And you know that it's coming from a very loving place, and that like, because they do care, they're telling you this, and know that nobody else will tell you.
Right.
Nobody else will tell you, like, this is how you're sabotaging this. And establishing also, this is really important, because this has been something that's been like so pivotal for me in my journey of working with mentors, and then also now being a mentor, is like really getting to speak with somebody, again, unbiased, to really filter out like, where do so many of these patterns come from to begin with. And in my experience, getting to know that and naming it is so invaluable as we move forward in life. As an example, like my one coach, Rand, really supported me finding how like being bullied was connected to so much of how I operated in life in ways that I thought were saving me or protecting me in a really like unconscious way. But like being able to see that for what it was and that I could release it was absolutely game changing for me. And so
like, what's changed for you as an example of that?
When I feel senses of like I don't belong, because that was like I know I've talked about it on here before too. That is a big, deep rooted belief that has made me want to stay small and dim and not speak up or like have set boundaries. And like how it's supported me is like, I know where that's coming from. And so it still happens. It still gets activated in me. But because I know it and I'm intimate with it now, I'm like, okay, young Kendra, because that's who it's from, like, this is not that. And I get to have my own process that I've created for myself, that I be with her and I be with that, which is something that's been my own evolution in a lot of what I also teach with my clients. But like, I will never forget the actual day when that epiphany showed. And it was almost like, my gosh, this makes so much sense as to why, like, it was hard for me to accept money. It was hard for me to say no or to, like, fully show up. And, like, yeah. So many things.
I've had experiences on my own calls with a coach, and I've literally put my head in my hands and, like, my hands over my eyes, and I'm, like, rubbing my eyebrows, just like, oh God.
Yeah.
Or, like, I see what you did. Or I'll even catch them sometimes, like, I see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing here. I know where you're taking me right now. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Jeez, how am I just realizing that? Like, how have I not seen that before right this moment? I kind of look at coaching like when I go to the gym, right? Where I'm like, I know this is going to be uncomfortable, but I also know that this is really good for me.
Yeah.
And that deep down, going to this place is going to help me be who I really want to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to help me be stronger. It's going to help me face my fears. It's going to help me be braver. I'm going to be a better version of myself. Or at least I'm going to be on the path towards finding out what that version of me looks like. It's the same with uncomfortable conversations or coaching.
Yeah.
For me.
What else is showing up for me too is, like, I like that analogy because, you know, a good coach will ask the confronting questions and will be like, and you can catch yourself be like, man, I want to avoid this. And, like, okay, that's the first fucking sign.
Yeah.
Like, what are you avoiding? And, like, one of my other coaches, Perry Chase, she's got a plethora of really great invitations that are like, oh man, that hurts almost. Yeah. And there's so much liberation when we get to observe ourselves operating in a way that we don't actually really want to be operating in. And we get to also look at our results in our life and see, like, oh yeah, because I'm operating like this is what's showing up. Yeah. And so it's like when you go to the gym, or if you hire a personal trainer and you want to, you know, support yourself feeling strong, and but also trusting in yourself that you can do it. It's like that mentor that can hold that space. Like, if you want to stop, if you want to feel stronger, if you want to, like, I don't really want to use the word achieve because I don't really love goal orienting, but if you want to really feel in a way that you know is a desire, that you truly know is true, like health, strength, resilience, then you seek a coach that's going to push you to get there, or that's going to remind you of, like, this is why you're here. This is why you signed up for this in the first place.
Yeah. Like, I think you're supposed to love and hate your personal trainer.
Oh, yes.
And, like, a good personal trainer loves when you say things like, I hate you right now.
Yeah.
They like feed off of it. It's like, man. Yeah. Tell me how much you hate me.
Yeah. And actually, like, so for a couple examples, like Perry is an example. In some of her discussions, she'd be like, so many of you are going to hate me, and that's okay. And because it's confronting, because we are actually we're being mirrored. And I think that's important, because that is where we're like, where are we neglecting really looking at our shit? Yeah. And having a mentor is like looking at your shit. And something else that I wanted to say was, not only is it like the beauty of having an outside perspective that's, like, unbiased, because your family and friends, like, you know, they love you and they maybe don't want to disappoint you. It's also the way that we personally choose to show up to our friends and family too. There's a vulnerability there that's like, the relationship just isn't the right container, you know? It's like, if I were to go to you for all of my stuff, right? In a partnership, it's like it's one thing about being clear and open in communication and honest. And you're not my coach. You're not my mentor. You're not my therapist. You are my intimate partner. And you're my friend. But it's like, we can't,
like, we've said to each other, like, hey, I don't think I'm the person to talk to about this.
Yeah.
It's like, go talk to your men's group. Go talk to Traver. Go talk to whatever. It's like, yeah, you're probably right.
It's irresponsible, I find.
Go on.
I feel like it's irresponsible to to give, to open, to talk about some of the most personal things in a container that maybe like the consent wasn't placed. And it's like when you, like, for as an example, like I wouldn't talk to my mother if I had issues with, like, I mean, that's a difficult example because I can really talk to my mom about a lot of things. But
I was going to say, this isn't going to work.
But, like, I guess I wouldn't necessarily speak to, like, my family in general about one of them and it kind of feeling like, whoa, that's uncomfortable. Like, that's, like, or talking to a friend about another friend, like, which gossip, that's a terrible example as well. But what I want to really say is, like, when you enter a relationship with a mentor or a coach, there's like consent that it's like, yeah, I'm here to receive everything that you have to offer here. Like, whatever is showing up for you in life, like, this is a place for it.
Bring it.
Like, bring it. Of course, there are some agreements there that can be set in place of where that can go. And that's up to the mentor themselves of, like, what that looks like. But for the most part, like, it's just like, you know, that entering that place, it's a safe place to be able to really open, and you can really go there and you don't need to hold back, even about the mentor. Even if there's like, yeah, this is something that I'm feeling against you. It's like, great. What is it?
Yeah.
How is this, you know, what's activated in you? What's really showing up here? And, yeah, it's like going into training.
It is training.
It is training.
It's life training. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the same thing like any coach of any team or any discipline, right? Mm-hmm. You're training. You're showing up. You're putting in repetitions. You're trying to figure out ways of doing things more efficiently, more effectively. You're looking at your weaknesses or your blind spots, stuff you got to work on, and you practice. Yeah. I think it's the same with life. That's at least my perspective when you talk about things like boundaries or vulnerability or authenticity or relationships, communication, etc. These are all skills. Like I was on this call yesterday, Stephen Jenkinson was saying, being in crisis is a skill. Being ambivalent is a skill. Being overwhelmed is a skill, and you can get better at dealing with all of these things.
Totally. Yeah.
So we should talk about our thing. We have a thing.
We have a thing, a group coaching thing, Jeremy and Kendra's group coaching thing.
Yeah.
And something that I quickly want to say about that is, while, like, this round, first of all, is really juicy because we have an extra modality to this cohort that we've never had before, which I think is going to be a really helpful supplement to the discussions and the conversations that we have on our group coaching calls. Because it's one thing to go over a lot of what we do and to open so much that we do around limiting beliefs and listening to the body and really honoring our boundaries. It's one thing to open in that conversation. It's another thing for the participants to go into their life and actually, like, be on the battleground, so to speak, and to, like, really observe themselves. And then in that moment, like, life is going to happen. We're going to, you know, fall into old patterns again, and that's okay, that's life. But it's really beautiful to then also have a place where we can communicate. So, like, with our group coaching thing, we have a group text where it's like, hey, check in, like, what showed up for you today, like, what are you struggling with, or like, what's a win, like, what did you notice, like, where did you notice that you really did honor yourself. And so our group coaching thing, I just feel like, is also really beautiful because in between the calls, there's also that space where they're going in life, stuff is going to happen, and they can still kind of...
like, we live in their pocket.
Yeah.
Like...
We've been called pocket coaches.
Pocket coaches.
Yeah.
So basically what we're saying is, during the day, people can text if they have a question or need support, and then each day we have an office hour where we respond and give audio feedback and voice notes and things.
And not only that, but, like, the sense of the community, like, what we've gotten to experience is, like,
so cool.
It really, oh my gosh, like somebody will come through and be like, this is something that's showing up for me today, and then we'll see the rest of, like, the beautiful souls like coming in and like with their perspective, and it's just like, what? This is so
It's like a swarm of loving hornets.
It's like the community aspect and the family bonds. Every single time we've done this,
every time
has been really beautiful to watch, and like we've gotten to meet some of you, and we still talk to you. But the new modality that we have is we've actually recorded each one of the modules that we're going to be discussing each week, and it's going to always be there for you to refer back to and to refer to the prompts. And so
there's 12 topics covered over 12 weeks in a group call for 90 minutes, and then there's a thing that lives on the internet where we have a video talking about the topic. We have journaling prompts, podcast suggestions, books, articles, all that stuff, and then we really dissect and clarify exactly what that topic is about.
Yeah.
So it supports the further exploration in addition to the 90-minute coaching call.
Yeah. So it's like in your own time, if you're having feelings of like, gosh, like what did they say on the call? And like also just first thing to note is what you receive on the call is exactly what needed to land, but it's really beautiful to have these supplemental resources to go back and to continue open. And I just want to say one of the things that I love about working with you, Jeremy,
you go on,
is like there's this kind of like secure structure of the masculine that is like we have the logistics of like our calls and this module space that lives online, and you're it's organized and you're so good at that organization piece. And I love working with you because it's like you create or you help and support creating like the structure of it, and then both of us as well, like the modules and the writings, which I'm still actually revising, because for me it's more of like an not intuitive, well, it is intuitive, but it's dropping into how are you gonna feel in this when we move through these invitations, when we move through the modules. It's like we'll hear about it, we'll discuss it, we're gonna go through it with all of you, and there's gonna be stuff that's gonna come up. And so I really love coming in with like the knowing that the body's going to be reacting in certain ways. And so what I love about, again, what I love about working with you, Jeremy, is there's like the devotional action of what happens, what comes through, of like what we become aware of like where we get to set boundaries. And there's also what I love of like the guiding and like, okay, like honoring how are we feeling in this, and how are we going to be responding to the way that our bodies are, like honoring this vessel throughout this journey of taking like very honorable action towards the thing that we're really desiring to achieve. Again, I don't love the goal orienting thing, but that person that we know.
You know what I think is cool is that I don't know of another program that has a male and a female coach working together, like
I'm sure
to
they're
lead
out
a
there.
thing, like that are dating, you know. And so for example, as much as I'm the masculine recovering scientist, analytical thinker, right? I think you're the complement to that, in the sense that, like, I've had more than one occasion where I don't know if I've told you this, but we'll be on a call with the group and you'll be talking to somebody, and in my brain I will be silently judging your approach. And I'm like, this is like, why is she doing this? Or like, why is she asking about that? Or it's so obvious to me that we should be talking about this perspective. And then the person that you're talking to will start crying and have some kind of transformation and be really grateful. And then the entire group is like, so a big truck just drove by. The entire group is immersed in this like profound moment, and I'm sitting there like, well, that's interesting.
You get to watch the feminine.
I think I was wrong, but okay, I'm glad she's here to sort that out. And so I feel like you're this intuitive I've described you recently as like a heart antenna. Like feelings and emotions and honoring and surrender and flow and all of those wonderful feminine things. So I think that the combination of the two perspectives basically means that the people that we work with have no way to escape our gaze or glare. It's like we've got all the bases covered, and I think we've seen that time and time again as being a powerful thing.
Yeah. But something I want to say to that too is, first of all, thank you for sharing that truth.
Sometimes you're right, is what I'm saying.
But what I want to say to that is, like, even from our last group, we have both together and separately been through a lot in our personal lives. And I've shared about mine, like my family's dog passed away. I know that was on this podcast, and grief and like a lot of other personal things happened. And I really feel like in that, and like, so this new round of our group coaching thing, originally were going to do it in April, and then we were going to do it in March, and then just it wasn't time. And I feel like we both really were needing and being invited to go through some initiations before we could actually be in this space again of really like holding it together. And
now we're ready.
And I feel like I feel really proud of us, and I feel really like strong in what this cohort and what this container is going to get to receive from us because of our willingness to go through some painful months and some beautiful months too. And that I mean, I've been working deeply with the feminine, and you've been witnessing that.
I have.
Yeah, but I feel like there's also an element to you where like there's a holding space for that, and like an observing that, and like maybe more of an understanding than maybe what you had before of what does that look like when I am mentoring from this space.
Yeah, it's not as if I'm watching a movie in a hotel room in a foreign language.
Yeah.
You know that feeling of like, I think I know what's going on, but I don't quite understand? Mm-hmm. That's how it used to feel, you know?
And then you have a really beautiful way, though, of like reeling it back into, okay, so like this is what we've uncovered, this is what's come to surface, and now these are the honorable invitations that we get to proceed with. And it's
what are
like,
we gonna do with it?
Like, so yeah, how are we gonna move with this now?
Yeah.
And there's like also the honoring of like what that movement looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 30 minutes. That was our target.
Okay.
Do you feel like we did a decent job?
I feel like we did a good job. I kind of just want to end with saying that I'm really open and really excited for the souls that come through in this one, because I feel
it's gonna be a doozy.
I just feel like all of the other ones have been beautiful, and I'm so grateful for all of them. I'm so grateful for all of you souls. You know who you are. We have a reunion call. I'm so excited. But I feel like we're different.
We're different.
And the way that we hold space and the way that this group coaching has expanded and evolved, I feel really good about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
We start July 1st.
July 1st, which is in like a week.
Just in a week.
12 calls, 12 weeks, daily text messages.
There's a VIP option of...
Oh, yeah, if you want personal coaching.
If you want personal coaching.
Private sessions.
Private with Jeremy and I.
But yeah, I'll put a link in the show notes for the program. If you have questions, you can message us, email us. Mm-hmm. And, come play.
Yeah.
Like, come fucking play with us for 3 months and see what's possible for you.
Yeah, and I think also just a reminder that that regardless of the coach that you work with, that it's so invaluable to invest in this type of support, in this type of remembering.
The return on investment is it's incalculable.
It really is. And like, you could look at that across the board in the way that you are in relationship with your family, your loved ones, and the way that where you live in your life and your environment. Like, it's just,
Definitely.
it's absolutely beautiful what can happen. So just a reminder that that's, no matter who or what, the investment is always invaluable in my experience.
The end. Namaste.
Thanks, Jeremy Goldberg.
Thanks, Kendra Adachi. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
I'm going to kiss your face now.
Okay.